us go back, and every now and then on this show, what we do is that one of us has gone to see something in the cinema. Another one of us goes, you know what, I don't care if it's already been reviewed, because unlike me, when one of you reviews a film, I kind of go, well, don't have to watch it now. I'm going to go find something else. But some of us, like Holly, go, you know what? I'm still going to go watch that film. And so Holly went and watched Madam Web. And after Sean gave quite an illuminating review of Madam Web last week, Holly, what did you think?
So as a very, very quick overview again for anybody who hasn't yet heard Sean's critique. It is a Marvel film about a character called Cassandra.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, may I stop you there? Okay, now this is something which obviously, as somebody like me, I'm a bit of a geek with these sort of things. I think it needs to be pointed out, because when you say it's a Marvel film, people immediately will assume that this is from the same people who brought you Captain America and the Avengers movies and everything like that. It is not. It is a Sony film, because for business reasons and law reasons, way back when Marvel didn't have money, they sold the rights to some characters to people like Sony and Fox and all that. And those people have been trying to keep hold of those rights, especially after once seeing what Marvel has done, and they realize that these things are very... So anyway, this character is originally based on a Marvel comic book. Yes, I will give you that. However, there needs to be a delineation made between Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios, and films that are made by other people with Marvel characters in them.
Yes, this is very true.
Yes, so this is from Sony, who have Marvel characters in them, but it is not the MCU.
It is not the MCU. It is about Cassandra Webb, whose mother was investigating spiders when she was pregnant with her, and she died suddenly. And Cassandra has been raised not knowing, in foster care, being angry towards her mother for having taken risks in her pregnancy. And she has grown up to become a paramedic and in New York. And along comes a day when she is helping somebody get out of a car, and the car goes over a bridge. When there's been an accident, and she drowns and is then resuscitated. And after this, she starts being able to see glimpses of the future, and she will see something, and then it will then happen immediately afterwards.
Yes.
And as a result of this, she comes in contact with 3 young women who are being hunted by somebody who had known her mother many years ago in the jungle. And she takes it upon herself to protect these young women and find out what's going on exactly. She is played by Dakota Johnson.
Yes.
I have absolutely no idea who else is in the film, though I suspect we'll be able to.
Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, or Merced, I can never know how to pronounce that. Tahir Rahim.
Yes.
Those are people.
Thank you. Yes, they are people. They are also in it. I found it a very enjoyable film, actually. It's B-movie. I think is what we concluded at the watching. I will happily whack it on in the background again in the future, because that's just fine. And it was fun. It was silly. It wasn't profound, obviously. Wasn't expecting it to be profound. But it was a nice watch. That's probably a silly word, but was very glad to have seen it. But it's not, obviously it can't really live up to everything else from the MCU, because it's not from the MCU, so it doesn't have all of the same feel to it.
It's from Sony, who don't know what they're doing. And I'm going to try very hard not to rehash my critique from last week, because Because Sharon's already heard it. Sharon's already heard. Anybody who's listening has already heard it and has heard what I think about Sony continuing to make superhero movies, besides the Spider-Verse movies. But yeah,
I liked it. Was glad to have seen it, but I can understand why it has been widely panned.
So, how many stars would you give it?
I will give it a 3.
Okay.
Because it was quite enjoyable, and it was a middle of the road B movie.
Yes.
So for what it was, now that, which may not be what they were trying to make it, but for what it was, it's that nicely.
It's just
yeah. I find Dakota Johnson a bit of an oddity as well, as somehow to me it always feels like she's playing the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't think there's anything to support that, it always to me feels like Dakota Johnson plays Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, I can see that. And Sharon, to get you interested in this, it occurred to me that two of the most scathing reviews we've had of films have been starring Dakota Johnson, because she was obviously in Persuasion.
Don't remind me of that film.
And we do have all 3 of the 50 Shades of absolute unspeakable nonsense.
Yeah, I mentioned last week, I said that, like, I don't believe that anybody is looking at the scripts for these Sony movies and thinking, this is going to really help my career. I feel like they're just looking at it and that Sony must be spending loads of money to get these people into it. Because Sydney Sweeney is a star. Sydney Sweeney is, like, she was known for Euphoria and everything like that. She is in one of the sleeper hits of this year, Anyone But You. And I don't think it has to have been a money thing. It just has to have been a money thing for them to be in this film. And I think that Dakota Johnson, I hope that she's rich, because I hope that she's been paid a lot for these films, for the 50 Shades movies, for Persuasion, for this, because she is building a weird career of stinkers beside films like, Bad Times at the El Royale. Bad Times at the El Royale. That she was in that, and that's an excellent film. And I'm just kind of like, so it's kind of like, so Holly, I know what you're saying is like, what do you get from Dakota Johnson? What does she give you? And I don't know that I know. I don't know that I know, because every character looks the same, has the same hairstyle, has the fringe. It's kind of like, so like
I'm always slightly annoyed by her fringe, and that's a completely unreasonable thing to be annoyed by, particularly as I take great issue with people, judging people they don't know on their appearance. But her fringe manages to irritate me. Who gets irritated by somebody's fringe? I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm very much in favour of fringes, but her fringe always annoys me.
So no Claudia Winkleman fan then?
No, her fringe scares me.
She's like, what is she hiding? What is on her forehead? What is it? We must know.
I mean, also incredibly impressed by the quality of Claudia Winkleman's hair. I mean, it's quite wonderful. So, aside. So okay. I think maybe we've established that I have a fear of fringes on TV.
Yeah, but fear of fringes. That's actually difficult to say. Fear of fringes on TV. All right, cool. Fear of fringes on TV and Madam Web, 3 stars from Holly. But bear in mind that, as we have already established, Holly is the nice one who will always try to find something nice to say. All right, but